Hello again. Now, Boston University in the United States is now denying claims that its scientists have created a deadly new COVID strain in a laboratory. However, the university admits that there was an experiment. The world is now on a recovery path following the coronavirus pandemic that has claimed millions of lives. Now, how safe is it for scientists to perform such experiments in a lab? Let's speak now to Professor Tulio De Oliveira, Director of the Center for Epidemic Response and Innovation at the University of Stellenbosch or KwaZulu-Natal. Where are you at now, Prof? I'm seeing Stellenbosch behind you. Are you at Stellenbosch or are you still at UKZN? Can we just clarify that?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and good afternoon. Yeah, so in reality, I'm in both. Yeah, if you talk to me next week, I will be in Durban, in KwaZulu-Natal.
Okay. No, we
week, I am in Stellenbosch,
okay.
so I'm still directing.
You exist in both.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, let's talk about this case. I mean, were you concerned when you had the first reports that Boston University was experimenting in a lab about a new, stronger or more dangerous COVID strain?
So yeah, thank you. That's a very important question, and unfortunately, was basic miscommunication. Yeah. So let me bring just the two main facts about these results. Yeah. The first one, they were not experimenting with a new dangerous strain. Yeah. So what they did, they had the original virus that caused our first wave in South Africa. Yeah. And what they did, they just see if the original virus backbone with the spike of Omicron would be more infectious and more pathogenic than the original virus. We know that Omicron, it is less pathogenic, and we saw that in South Africa with our Omicron wave and our 50 wave in May that didn't kill many people. Yeah, so what they found when they do a recombination between the original virus and the Omicron, which by the way, it happened very often in nature. Yeah, what they found is that virus would kill 80% of the mice that they have, that's lab rats that they have engineered to study SARS-CoV-2. The interesting thing is that the original strain, the one that caused the first wave, before had killed 100% of the mice. So in reality, this new construct, yeah, was less deadly, but was more deadly on the mice, and that's mice that have been engineered as a model for studying SARS-CoV-2 than Omicron. So that's the first fact. So that virus was not more dangerous than any variant that have been emerged. To be honest, in the mice was less dangerous than what we have in our first wave. Yeah. The second fact is that unfortunately, the way that they wrote the preprint, this is a paper that go before per review, they didn't add that information that in reality was 20% less deadly in mice, not in humans, that has been engineered than the previous one. So unfortunately was one of these mis-scientific communication that got picked up by the general media and that got amplified in the wrong way.
Yeah, is this normal? I mean, should we be worried? You said in nature it can happen naturally that two viruses come together. But to experiment in a lab, is that not dangerous in case the result of that experiment escapes from the lab?
So the first thing is that coronavirus, such as SARS-CoV-2, is a highly recombinant virus. Yeah. And that's not only specific to coronavirus. The other virus that affect millions of South Africa, for example, HIV, also recombine very often. So that's just a mechanism of the virus to generate more genetic variation. And that happens when someone is infected with two variants and they will recombine them. So for example, in South Africa, we have identified in individuals that have been infected in the population, many recombinants, okay? So when they do that in the lab, or that kind of experiment that they did, yeah, the virus was adapted for mice transmission, not for human. In addition to that, was a very highly biosafe laboratory. So the risks there were minimal. To be honest, it's less risk than let the virus circulate in the population, as we know that this virus recombine. Yeah, one thing that people worry, it's when they call other kind of research that's not the same that they have done. That's called gain of function, when they try to add another function to another virus. But this one is extremely regulated research, and they wouldn't be able to do that in the lab without having a special permission.
Okay, that's very important. So we have nothing to worry about.
Yes, not from that experiment. Yeah,
yes.
But one thing, but one thing that we have to worry is that if the virus keeps transmitting for a long time in humans, yeah, it may be adapted for worse outcomes. Okay. Fortunately, with Omicron, seems to be the opposite. Yeah, the virus evolved to be less pathogenic, and what we have, our population immunity in South Africa make even less disease. So at the moment, we don't have too much to worry about SARS-CoV-2 and coronavirus. But as a team of scientists such as that run genomic surveillance, we are alerted just to make sure that we are aware of what's circulating in the country.
Are you aware what the experts in India have said? I saw a report, and I just wanted to ask you that they've detected a new Omicron subvariant BQ.1. I don't know what that means. Are you aware of that? And is that something to worry about?
Yes. We are aware. We also have detected this, which still Omicron. Let's be very clear, is not a new variant. It's an Omicron sublineage. Yeah, we also have detected that in South Africa. Yeah, it is still at a small percentage. It's around like between 5 and 10% of our most recent genomes that we have, for example, in the Western Cape. Yeah, but we are particularly not very concerned or worried. We are alerted. We are follow that lineage, but we don't see an increase on hospitalization or death. Yeah, and that's what they are seeing everywhere in the world. That this new phase of the pandemic, we may have Omicron subvariants that may break to infection, but they haven't caused much pathogenic disease. This means worse disease outcome.
Okay. Finally, I wanna end this on a positive note, Prof. Tulio, and just to say, I mean, you've been recognized globally as recently as last week. There was a global meeting that was taking place. It's a World Health Summit that was taking place in Berlin, in Germany, where I'm told we hear speaker after speaker was praising you and your fellow scientists here in South Africa for the beautiful amount of work that you are doing. And I guess there's a lot of pride in us as South Africans to know that you and your fellow scientists among us. This kind of expertise and, of course, the recognition that comes with it, well, what does it mean to you?
Okay, thank you. Yeah. The first thing is something that we can be proud in South Africa. South Africa is considered to have one of the most advanced genomic surveillance programs in the world. Yeah, I have to be clear. This is the work of hundreds of scientists, very, very committed in dozens of laboratories. We are a big team that managed to work together. And what we do, we build that on previous experience that we have dealing with viruses such as HIV, but also respiratory pathogens such as TB. So we have this long-term experience, yeah. And I think that's something to us to be proud, and something that what we hope is that it stimulate the next generation of scientists and young people to take science, because that's something that South Africa is advanced at. As I talk to you, just around like 50 meters from here, yeah, we are starting the first Nobel Symposium that get out of Scandinavia. It's the first one that they leave like Scandinavia, Sweden, Norway, and come anywhere in the world. And the first country that they choose was South Africa. Yeah, and that's very, very important because we have to invest in our science. We have to be recognized so we can help to solve some of the problems. We have a lot of problems, not only of health, but also we have to think about climate change. We have to think about agriculture, and that's something that we are proud and we really hope to keep developing South Africa. A high scientific level, but more important, to encourage young people to think about being scientists.
Yeah, very, very good points you are making there. But at a personal level, you are very modest. Congratulations to you for the global recognition, Prof. Tulio. You and your team, of course, we understand there's always a team that's involved. But you yourself, as a leader of that team, we congratulate you. And good luck with this symposium. You said it's the first time that a Nobel symposium has left Scandinavia to take place anywhere in the world, and they chose us in South Africa. That sounds good. Perhaps we'll pick up on that next time we speak about what was the outcomes of this Nobel Symposium. Thank you very much. That's Professor Tulio De Oliveira, Director for the Center of Epidemic Response and Innovation at University of KwaZulu-Natal, but he was talking to us live now from Stellenbosch University, where he just told us, in case you didn't know, you heard it for the first time here on Today on eNCA, that for the first time ever in the history of the Nobel Prize, they've taken out their Nobel Symposium outside Scandinavian countries like Sweden, Norway, and Denmark, and is being held for the first time in the world in South Africa, and is taking place as we speak at Stellenbosch University. Maybe we'll pick that up with him a little bit later next week just to find out what came out of it.